With the draft being done over a week ago and countless draft rankings and winners and losers lists being made, I thought I'd make the only rankings list that actually matters straight out of the draft, since skill-wise, it is way too unpredictable to say who is actually the best. But what we can agree on, however, is that there are some names in the draft that are way more fun than others. So in this video, I'll be discussing the top 10 names drafted in the 2017 NHL Entry Draft. So at number 10, I have Nate Schnarr, the tall and tough competitor who got drafted 75th overall by Arizona. The reason he's on this list is not only because Schnarr is such a great name to say, but also because it kind of sounds like the way he plays, with that high compete level and do anything to win attitude. Number 9 on the list I know had some people doing a double take, and that's because this spot belongs to Sebastian Aho. No, this isn't that Sebastian Aho, the Carolina forward. Instead, this Sebastian Aho, who was drafted 139th overall by the Islanders, plays defense and is Swedish, not Finnish. I think this name being on this list can be pretty self-explanatory because, let's be honest, having two completely unrelated athletes with the same name and one such as Sebastian Aho is pretty sweet. At number 8, we have another Arizona pick, and man, were they killing it with the great names picks. But here we have Erik Walli-Walterholm, the right winger that they picked up with the 190th pick. I really like this pick, not only because one day he'll be on the all-name team, but because he's gone at about a point per game pace at every Swedish club that he's played with. So in my opinion, that's a really good value pick for a 7th round pick. At the 7th slot, we have the Calgary Flames 171st pick, Joly. Again, this is a great value pick in the later rounds, but other than the obvious fact that his name D'Artagnan is already pretty sweet, the fact that it was named after D'Artagnan, the leader of the Musketeers from the movie The Man in the Iron Mask, manages to propel him even higher up on this list. At the 6th spot on this list, getting drafted 98th overall by the New Jersey Devils, is the big Russian Nikita Popugaev. He had a very strong start to the season, but after getting traded from Moose Jaw in the WHL to Prince George, his production fell, seeing his draft stock stumble along with it. But what I love so much about his name is that in Russian, his name, Papugai, directly translates to parrot. So then at number 6, we have Nick Parrott, technically. With the 61st pick and 5th spot on this list, the Nashville Predators managed to pick up Grant Mismash. This is someone that I thought could have gone way earlier in the 2nd round, and for the most part, you can't really go wrong with any of the US National Development Program kids, and that includes Mismash, who, by the way, has a great name, of course. At number 4, I've listed the 162nd overall pick selected by Detroit, Jack Adams. The slightly older but big forward put up over a point per game pace in his 2nd season in the USHL. But remember, this is a top player names list, so how can a guy with a seemingly basic name such as Jack Adams be on this list compared to some other guys on this list? And how can he be at number 4 with that name, right? Well, going to Detroit will do that for you, and especially considering that their last player with the name Jack Adams was a longtime coach and GM. And oh yeah, he has that trophy named after him. The setting and name recognition with this pick could not have been any better with Jack Adams going to Detroit. Again. Sort of. So here we are in the top 3, and the 3rd slot I have goes to Aleksi Heponiemi, who was picked 40th overall by the Florida Panthers. This guy is a playmaking machine, and he had a great year in Swift Current. And I have to be honest, I'm a sucker for Finnish names, and I'm sure you can't disagree that Aleksi Heponiemi has a sweet one. At 2nd overall, we have Nico Hischier's line mate in Halifax, Arnaud Durandeau, who was picked 165th overall by the Islanders, and with a name like Arnaud Durandeau, it's hard to imagine not having him on this list at all. And finally, at the number 1 spot, we have the consensus number 1 European goalie prospect who was drafted by the Sabres 54th overall, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Not only was I very high on this guy going into the draft, but he's got 3 U's and a whopping 6 K's in his name. And also, not to mention, his name is incredibly fun to say. So although most lists right out of the draft do tend to suck, I hope that you had as much fun with this one as I did, and if I missed any other great names drafted out of the 2017 draft class, please do leave them in the comments down below so we can include them as honorable mentions of sorts. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.